What is going on, guys? Chris here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be trying out this awesome puzzle. This is the WitEden 3x3x8. I've had this puzzle for a little while and I've spent quite a long time trying to solve this on camera because I always seem to mess it up, but hopefully today we'll get it right. This is quite similar to the WitEden 3x3x9. In fact, it's almost exactly the same puzzle when you break down the parts, but because this is a 3x3x8, it's actually non-cubic. As you can see, we're missing a few layers here or there, but we have this crazy circle layer, which is kind of uncommon for these types of puzzles, but it does have a specific function which we will get to shortly. So without further ado, let's just get solving. Similar to the 3x3x9, we are just going to want to solve this like a 3x3 because we can't really do anything other than 3x3 moves at the moment because of bandaging in this middle layer. As you can see, this here is stopping us from doing any slices. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now, this doesn't have to be overly specific. We're just going to build the cross here. But we do want to solve F2L. So we want to solve this middle layer completely. You don't have to do this right away, but it just helps because you get that initial middle layer straight away. So let's do that. So I suppose, well, it looks like everything is actually in the middle layer. It's just all placed incorrectly. So let's get rid of some of them. So to tell which edge is which, you want to look at the very middle piece. So this is a blue and red. So let's find the blue and red. That's this one here, because these middle centers, I suppose, the centers of the centers, they never actually change. So you don't need to worry about that. And you use that as kind of a reference point for solving. So as you can see, we've placed in this middle blue and red here, and that's freed up the orange and green. So let's find a nice white edge and we can pop that in right here, no problems at all. That's freed up the orange and blue. So let's do that one next. What kind of salt is that? So I'm going to pair it up with a white corner, sledgehammer that in nice and easy, and that leaves just one more. That's the red and the green. So let's free up our white corner and pop it in. So as you can see, we have solved the middle slice all the way around. And we actually just want to finish off by doing OLL here, just because that will completely free up the slice. You don't have to worry about PLL because we do get to that shortly. So there we go, it's back into a cubic shape and we have our nice middle strip here all solved. So now I can kind of explain to you what's going on. So we have 8 layers plus this crazy layer here, and as you can see, some of these corners and edges are missing white. I'm pretty sure you can see that. So we have a white sticker here, but not here, not here, and that's because it's actually trapped in the top layer where this yellow is. So you can see a white sticker here, and that's because when you do a slice like this, you totally bandage this bottom layer. Like, this crazy circle face cannot move on its own, but the top layer can. So that's going to make things a little bit complicated later on, but in essence it is a 3x3x9 because we have the 8 layers plus the 9th layer, which happens to bandage. So we'll get to that shortly. But first and foremost, we're going to start building up this cuboid as we would normally. So we're going to build a 3x3x2 around this middle layer. So let's start. We have this as a reference point. We have the blue here. We're going to put the red cross piece down here. The green one is here. And then we want an orange one, which is right here. Now you do want to be very careful with this puzzle because it's disproportional. And it constantly shapeshifts. You want to try your best to remember what you're actually building, and a good way to do that is to find the middle layer, which is here. It's the only set of pieces that are completely filled, the rest are hollow. So if you ever lose where you are and you're not quite sure, use that as a reference point. So moving on from there, we have our green and red in the correct place. We want a red and blue here. Now, do we have a red and blue? Yes, we do. It's right here. So it is just pretty much applying 3x3x2 moves. We have the blue and orange here. So now we want the orange and green, which is done. Now, don't worry about the middle layer. That is going to mess itself up, and we just have to deal with that as and when we finish each set of layers. So now we're going to build this layer. We have the headlights here. So basically sort of an A-perm, I guess. Which basically has solved the top layer. So we got quite lucky there. We didn't have any U-perms or H-perms or Z-perms, so that's great. But we do have a parity here, so we want to fix that. And basically, it's just a really simple algorithm. U2, R2, F2, U2, F2, R2, U2. And that should have done it. Yep, I don't know why that didn't quite work properly, but we have managed to solve the parity there, which is great. So now we just move on. We do another set of layers, and then we get to the slightly more complicated outer layers. So let's just keep on building. We have our orange piece here, which is already good. We want a blue down here. That's that sorted. We want a red here, and then I guess we want a green here. So again, try and keep a reference point. We've built 3 layers now, this middle layer and the 2 outer ones. Just really keep an eye on that so you don't lose where you are and start mixing layers up. So let's keep going then. So do we have any pieces that we can use? We guess we have the orange and green here, so that's going to go down nice and easily right here, and that's freed up this blue and red. So that's there. Let's see, orange and green's done. We want the orange and blue. That's gonna pop down here, just like so, and that's gonna leave one more, the red and green. Sorted. So now this whole bottom layer is done. Again, don't worry about the layers we've already built. We'll deal with any parity as and when it arises. Headlights for this set of 2 layers on the left, and same algorithm again. I wonder if we'll get lucky with this one. It doesn't look like it. So there's our corners done. It looks like we have, well, it's going to end up being half of a Z-perm once we've fixed the opposite layers. So now we just have these 2 to swap. And do we have parity? We do. So I'm going to be quite sneaky about this. I see that this is going to need to flip in order to avoid parity. So if I use this as the R slice and I do the algorithm to swap these 2, it'll fix that parity. Like that, which is great. And obviously this still isn't built, but it is a much easier fix because both layers can be reset within 2 moves as opposed to just 1. So you don't need to perform any specific algorithm. So there you go, that is now built, which brings us to the very last set of layers. And this is where it gets a bit more complicated because we have to reset the yellow and the white in order to fix it. Because the white face bandages, we can't do one of the 3 because obviously it looks like there's 2 of each, but it's actually 1 white face and then the 2 yellow faces. So we're going to have to kind of pair up each piece with its correct piece, because obviously we can't solve the puzzle if, like, for example, this yellow piece is over a white piece. It just isn't going to work. So what I typically do here is I use the bottom bandage layer as kind of like a storage place. So this yellow piece, I can look underneath and there's no white sticker. So I know that this pair of pieces is correct. So I'm going to leave that there. This yellow and green is paired with an orange, so that's obviously incorrect. So I'm going to pop that up in the top layer. And what we can do in this top layer now is we can move freely and pair pieces up. So this yellow and orange obviously pairs with this orange piece here because there's no white sticker. So that's paired up and that's good. So I'm going to place that down here in the correct spot. And just so it's done, I'm going to place the paired up blue in the right spot as well, because then we don't have to worry about that. So we have a yellow blue, yellow orange done. This yellow red here, it looks like it's paired up, but there's a little white sticker hanging under there, which means that that's the wrong piece. And if we find the respective red up here, there's no white sticker. So we need to fix that. So I'm going to bring this mismatched pair here. I'm going to pair up the yellow with the correct stickerless red, and then that's paired up, and we're going to put it in the bottom. And then finally we have the yellow and green, which is paired up with obviously an orange, which is incorrect. So we'll find the green here with no white sticker, pair it up and pop it in the bottom. So now all of our yellow edges are complete and paired up correctly with their yellow non-stickered pieces. Then we have to do the corners, which is slightly more complicated. Well, I guess not really, but we have a yellow, blue and red here, and there's no yellow, blue and red that doesn't have a white sticker on it. That's because it's over here. So let's do a quick swap. Bring this incorrect stickerless piece here and pair it up, and that obviously is now done. So let's pop that in the correct spot down here, and that'll free up a piece for us. So now we have yellow, blue and orange, and that actually is already paired up. So that's absolutely fine. We can pop that in right away. So let's do that. Then we have yellow, green and red, which is also paired up correctly. So that's great. Let's put that in. And that'll just leave us with one more incorrect. And that's the yellow, orange and green. And that's obviously going over here because that's the last piece without a white sticker on it. And if we pop that down now, that is also now done. And we know that we're finished because every white piece up here has a matching sticker both on the outside and on the inner circle. So that's all perfect. So now we just solve this normally, except we have one layer for the white and these two layers represent one layer for the yellow. So let's just go ahead and do that. I realized kind of building the white layer correctly, I guess, with the yellows was kind of counterproductive because you do just break it up now anyway, but I find that it's just a nice way to keep track of where all your pieces are. You've got to be very careful here not to turn the yellow face on its own. It's always both sets of layers, because if you do the yellow face on its own, you are going to undo all that work you have just done pairing the pieces up. So we have a white cross on the bottom, which means we now want to start inserting the corners. And this is nice and easy because we now know which corners belong to which face, because obviously we have the white or yellow sticker on the outside. So you can breeze through this. You don't really have to try and figure out which ones are which. So let's just finish off the white face. Nice and easy. There we go. And now we're just a couple of moves away. So we do have a parity here, which I can see, so I'm going to try and solve this top layer with an odd number of moves so that it can reset this, and we'll avoid having to do an algorithm. So let's, headlights on the left. Alright, so that's the parity here now. What did I do? I don't know what I did, but cool. So it looks like we are going to have a Z-perm again. So let's just do a couple of swaps. I think we're going to solve this without any more parity, because we'll get parity fixing these two, then we'll do a U2 and we'll undo the parity with these two. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's one set done. And as I said, we have a parity here, but because we're using this as the R slice for this last algorithm, it'll fix it. And there we go, solved. It's a pretty nice puzzle. I really do like this puzzle. It took me quite a long time to figure out the best method for fixing the yellow and white faces for the last 2 layers. I thought about maybe fixing them in the first place, but I found that I just messed it up by the end anyway. But this is a really cool puzzle. I think I actually prefer it to the 3x3x9 just because it's not as clear which layers are which, particularly at the end. It just adds an extra layer of difficulty while kind of mechanically being exactly the same puzzle, except of course for this bandage layer here. So that's how it solves. It's a really fantastic puzzle, as I keep saying, and it's just a really nice cuboid. It's like 10 minutes to solve maybe. I probably could have done it faster if I wasn't explaining things. It's great. I really do like cuboids, I always have, so hopefully we can carry on with these kind of puzzles, starting I guess with the 3x3x9 roadblock, which I do have, and I'll be getting to that fairly shortly hopefully. But that is it guys, that is the WitEden 3x3x8 cuboid. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and if you have, remember to give me a thumbs up. If you have any tips, anything you think I could have done better, let me know in the comments below. I am very happy to hear what you guys have to say, and then of course make sure you subscribe and you'll be notified whenever I make a new video. Thanks so much for watching though guys, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.